Bill Belichick could absolutely be a great fit for the Eagles. If the Eagles decide to part ways with Nick Sirianni in the offseason, I could see 3 NFC East teams be interested in Bill Belichick. The New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys. All 3 teams would be absolutely interested in Bill Belichick. And why the Eagles would be interested in Bill Belichick is because of the youth of this defense. This is a young Georgia defense. That's what they are. And the safeties that they've brought in and the corners that they've brought in, the DBs that they brought in this year's draft, they solidified their defense. The weakness of this defense, where they built it under over the last couple of years under Darius Slay and the corners that they've had that looked like they were aging. Now they brought in guys that could play the position and keep up with some of these big, fast, wide receivers. But the fact is, Nick Sirianni has, I believe, lost this team. He lost the team at the end of the season last year, and I think he lost the team right now. The only reason why the Eagles brought him back is because they made the playoffs, because they snuck into the playoffs. If they didn't make the playoffs, he would have been fired. Did they do anything in the playoffs? No. And that's because of their running game. Hopefully, they solidified that in the offseason, bringing in Saquon Barkley. Hopefully, if he stays healthy. The Eagles, from top to bottom, are one of the most talented teams right now in the NFL. And you can't even argue that. I do not agree with Sirianni thinking that Kellen Moore is going to be the bridge of this offense. Kellen Moore, was he the bridge of the offense for the Chargers last year in his 1-year stint over there? No. Was he the bridge for years with the Cowboys? The answer, no. As a matter of fact, if you look at Dak Prescott's numbers last year to all the years that Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator, I would say Dak Prescott had one of his best years and his most efficient years, his most efficient year with Mike McCarthy than he was with Kellen Moore. I agree with Chris Mad Dog Russo that Nick Sirianni is really coaching for his life this year. Nick Sirianni, I don't know what kind of coach he is. I really don't. I know what type of player A.J. Brown is. And if A.J. Brown wants to be traded and he doesn't want to be here at this organization for what the numbers he was putting up for the last 3 seasons, it says a lot about Sirianni. Because what I've heard about A.J. Brown is he's a great person, a great leader, and a great locker room presence. Hassan Reddick, not so much. I've heard Hassan Reddick is all about himself. And he was all about his sacks. He wasn't all about the defense. He was all about what he was doing on the football field. And that's probably why the Eagles parted ways with him and traded him to the New York Jets for a 3rd round. It could be a conditional 2nd round draft pick, depending on if he plays and he has a good season. Right now, the Eagles are in a division where you can argue that not only are they the best team in that division, they're the best team in the conference. Talent is there. Their defense is as good and as young as any defense right now in the NFL. Their offense, yes, they lost Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce retired. Now he has his own cereal with his brother. He's enjoying his retirement. I've heard he's lost a little bit of weight. Good for him. Would I be surprised if Jason Kelce decides to come back in the middle of the season and make a run? I wouldn't be. Especially if the Eagles put up the numbers and Saquon Barkley is the player that we believe he's going to be this year. Why wouldn't he want to come back and try to win another Super Bowl with the Eagles? But let's not create rumors because that's not what we're trying to do here. Right now, you look at Nick Sirianni and the position that the Eagles are in, they're in a very good position. The conferences are very weak. And if you even, the best conference right now in the NFC is probably the NFC North. You could argue it's the North, right? The Lions, the Packers, the Chicago Bears, and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I don't know if the Minnesota Vikings are going to put up good numbers this year. We don't even know who their starting quarterback is going to be.
But they're still better than the Panthers and the Commanders and the Giants.
Minnesota could win 8 games this year, could win 9 games. They do have the best wide receiver in football. And if they have a guy that can complete passes, maybe, and Justin Jefferson stays healthy, they can win games close. They can win close games as they did a couple of years ago when they were one of the best teams in the NFC. The conference is weak. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers conference is weak. The Saints, I don't think are going to be any good. The Panthers are going to be better, but they're going to be weak this year. The Buccaneers I do not believe the Buccaneers are going to have the same season they had as they did last year because their offensive coordinator went over there to the Carolina Panthers. They're going to start a new offense, and I don't trust Todd Bowles. And then the San Francisco 49ers, we expect San Francisco to be good. We all believe San Francisco will have one of the best defenses in the league. We believe that if they stay healthy, this offensive line will keep Brock Purdy up. And with the weapons that they have, even without Brandon Ayuk, wherever he goes, this San Francisco team will be an elite team in the NFL.
Plus, what they could get back for Ayuk, so maybe they still get a piece that helps.
I don't know about the Rams. They, on paper, they're a better defense than they were last year, even without Aaron Donald. I don't know what the Seattle Seahawks are going to be with a new coach. We already know what Arizona is going to be this year. They're rebuilding. Kyler Murray might have a good year with, obviously, a guy, an explosive weapon that they drafted. There's no question he's going to be explosive like his father, maybe even better. Crazy to say that, but he might be.
Definitely possible.
But really, the NFC East, if you look at where these divisions are in the NFC and the conference is, it's probably the best, if not the second best conference. You can argue it could be the best conference. If the Cowboys put up the numbers they do every single year and they win 11 or 12 games this year and they win 11 or 12 games and the Commanders are a little bit better and the Giants are a little bit better, this could be the best conference right now. I mean, the best division in the conference in all of the NFC. That says a lot about the NFC. So what does that tell me about the Eagles? With the talent that they have and the additions that they've made in the offseason, even without move Kellen Moore out of the conversation, this team should win 12 to 13 games.